Now, all the top headlines from the world media were on the historic meeting between Trump and Kim at the border between the two Koreas. Media outlets from around the world were quick to report on the news of the somewhat abrupt meeting, and many had their own take on the surprise development. Our Kim Hyo-sun reports.
International media outlets were focused on the news of the historic meeting in the DMZ. Almost every news outlet reported on its front page that Donald Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to cross the border to North Korea after meeting Kim Jong-un in the demilitarized zone. Some global news outlets, including the BBC, first mentioned how critics have dismissed it as pure political theater, mentioning how the previous meeting in Hanoi ended abruptly with no progress on denuclearization talks. But when the talks became longer than expected, the story started to focus on how Panmunjom could possibly set the scene for future talks. When Donald Trump came out from the meeting room, foreign news outlets, including The Guardian, covered the story as breaking news, reporting that the two sides would be setting up new teams to take forward negotiations within 2 to 3 weeks. News outlets in Korea's neighbors also showed live coverage of the events in Panmunjom. China's GGTN and Japan's NHK covered the news live for their local viewers. A Japanese professor in the NHK studio called the meeting a significant step towards a new future between the two sides, mentioning how the previous relationship, especially in terms of the denuclearization deal, was somewhat passive. It was an extraordinary moment, and it shows that these two people have personal chemistry, but many global news outlets wonder, can it really lead to something significant? That will be the real test over the next few months. Kim Hyo-sun, Arirang News.